What's up, zoeyyyy squad? What's up, BD? Okay, so May 21st, 2024, we are in Galveston. We're at the UTMB of Galveston, and that's the, let me show you the pronunciation of it. That's the School of Health Professionals and School of Nursing. And right now, they have this presentation of what's going on and stuff like that. So, let's go!
I'm in physical therapy. She did a lot of pediatric physical therapy. I'm gonna let her tell her expertise, but just wanted to welcome her. So thank you.
Welcome. So most recently, pediatric clinical specialist, but prior to that, I did adult neuro rehab, and then I worked in the hospital. So how many of you know what a physical therapist does? Okay, who wants to tell me? Because I also like to give away candy when people answer questions. So, I saw a hand over here. So what does a physical therapist do?
We just rehabilitate people through injuries.
They rehabilitate. Oh, you've had experience. Ah, okay. So rehabilitate people through injuries. What is that? Can you give me can anyone else give me some specific examples of maybe, has anyone else in here had physical therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. How about in the back?
When I shattered my hip, it taught me how to re-walk again.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So we do a lot of stuff with what we call mobility, which is walking. But also that might be using a wheelchair, that might be using a power chair, that might be using crutches, that might be using walkers, things like that. So we work pretty much, the youngest baby that I've worked with was born at 23 weeks and 1 day gestation. So it was in the neonatal intensive care unit. Then I worked with them when they went home for early intervention. And the oldest person I worked with was a 104-year-old man in a nursing home, who had actually fought with Pancho Villa to capture Pancho Villa in Mexico. So he was very, very interesting. So in physical therapy, you can decide multiple areas that you want to work in. You can focus mainly on birth to 3, so babies from birth to 3 years old. You can just do pediatrics up to 18. You can do adults. You can do geriatrics, so you can work with a lot of the older people. You can do rehabilitation of people with orthopedic injuries, which may be broken bones, broken back, shattered hips, things like that. Or you can be someone that works with someone with neurological conditions. So someone who has had a stroke, may have had a traumatic brain injury from a car accident, may have had a spinal cord injury, whether they can use just their arms, or they have difficulty and can't use their arms or their legs. So lots of things that we can do. One of the things we really work with a lot is people with balance issues. Have you ever felt unbalanced at any time? Yeah, it may not go, it might be a little bit younger, but I don't know if you've ever gone to, you know, at the airport where they have the walkway that moves, and you're walking on it, and all of a sudden you get off the end, and you're like, whoa, what's going on? You kind of lose your balance a little bit because your vision and your proprioceptors, which are the sensory system in your feet and arms and legs and tells your body where you are, and your vestibular system, which lets you know where your head is in space, kind of get out of whack. Have you ever been sitting in a car at a stop sign? You're in your car, you know you have your foot on the brake, but a car next to you moves and you think, oh my God, am I moving? And you slam your foot on the brake. Has anyone experienced that? Yeah. So that's when those 3 systems aren't working well together. So I like to do a little demonstration of what happens when your vestibular system may be out of whack, and one of the ways we look at someone to see if we can diagnose it. So I need someone who doesn't get motion sick. Anyone in here get motion sick, bar sick stuff? So I don't want someone that gets motion sick.
Oh, I don't get motion sick.
You don't, oh, you want to volunteer. Look, she has no idea what I'm going to do. And what's your name?
Diana.
Diana? Okay, Diana, I'm going to trade glasses with you.
Okay.
Okay. So these are special glasses, Diana. Yes, Okay, so these glasses are 20 diopters, so they really make your eyes really big. And the reason why I want that is I'm gonna spin her around, and then I'm gonna stop her, and we're gonna see her eyes go back and forth. And that's called nystagmus. And that's a sign that there's something going on with someone's vestibular system. Some things are going on, or it could be central, but we won't go into that much detail. But that's one of the things we look at when someone says, "Ooh, I feel unbalanced." We're like, "Oh, I wonder if it's your vestibular system or something going on in your brain." All right, so hold on to the side of the chair because I'm going to spin you around. So your feet need to come up a little bit. All right, you ready? I'm going to move you forward so when I do stop you, people can see. So y'all get ready. Keep your eyes wide open. 3, 4. You feeling dizzy yet?
Yeah.
Stop. Now, eyes open. What do y'all see?
Oh, there are.
Yeah, you see? You feeling okay? I know. But they're seeing your eyes go back and forth. You feeling okay?
I feel okay.
Okay, you want to try it again and maybe some 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and gonna stop. Now look, eyes real big. Y'all see it?
Oh, yeah.
Plus that also whittles your waist, so you have a nice waist. Then you come out on the ball. You bring your knees up. So going back and forth like that, that's a reverse setup, right? Okay, and then if I want to, I can go to the side, and the side. I can bring it in and then I can do this. See the difference? Yeah, there you go. And the ball is moving, so you're also having to really control the ball.
Yeah.
So is that harder than doing it just on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, do you want to try the one where you flip over? I'll be right here with you because I promise I won't let you fall. Okay. Okay, so you're just going to get on the ball like this, and then you'll just walk out. Okay. And I'll tell you. You kind of go this way. Okay, good. Now pull your knees in, so pull that ball up underneath you. Good. And then back and forth. So bring them out again. There you go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, now it's on.
Okay, see it? There's a lot of people. Because you know what? They don't like you. Because they're here with you. Okay. All right. Okay, first get steady before you start bouncing. Are your tennis shoes? Yeah, see? Yeah, that's what happened to me, my tennis shoes. Now what about your socks? Yeah.
It might have made for basketball, I think. Mine's like a vertical grip.
Is it cold? Okay. All right, first just see, can you sit here?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens if I kick the ball a little bit? All right, sit nice and tall. Don't let me knock you off balance. See how she tightened up when you do that? She's tightening her abdominal muscles and she doesn't even know it. She's doing the exercise. All right, good. Now go ahead and try some bouncing and see what you think.
Yeah, so.
Your feet are so, keep your feet on the ground and just bounce your bottom up and down. There you go. She was going high. No, that's okay. That's okay. Good. Can you bounce and turn in a circle? Okay. There you go. There you go. See, look, she can't be mad while she's bouncing on the ball, right? Because it's fun. Already?
Dang,
Yeah,
so?
you can get strengthening of your quadricep muscles on this. And I trick people all the time. They don't realize they're exercising. They just think they're having fun. They're like, oh no, you just did a whole exercise routine. What? They don't even know that. Do you think you can hop and move the ball underneath you and move across the room?
Okay, say it again.
So you do a little hop up and then you move the ball and you kind of hop across the room. That's okay, yes. Nope.
She's like, I tried one.
So if I were writing up her exercise exercise plan next week we'll work on hopping across the room on the ball. Thank you very much.
Woo, look at that.
Therapy assistants, which is the associate degree that you guys have at your school. That is the first step, or the first way to be an OT. And then there are so OT is, they were trying to get to be a doctorate level, but everything kind of paused during COVID. So there are still some master's level OT programs that are out there. UTMB here, we are a doctorate, so we're an OTD program, but it's similar. It's very, very similar. You need to come in with a bachelor's degree, and then we have a 3-year curriculum. And in that 3 years, you have your studies, and then you also have field work, where you go out and you actually get to be a therapist next to a seasoned occupational therapist like myself. So I would have students come with me. They would be with me for 12 weeks. And that's whenever I slowly would start giving them my caseload, but I was always there with them the whole time. So you do 2 12-week rotations. You also have shorter 1-week rotations. And then the last bit is your capstone, which is either a research or a program development. About research.
Yeah, what specific you do whenever you're in the research part? What are the things you do?
Yeah, so as like a student or as a clinician? Like if you're, both? Okay, so whenever you're in school, you have research courses that teach you all about research, all the different types of research that you can do, what research is and why research is important. Research is extremely important in the medical field because we insurance, and we have to prove what we're doing is valid, right? I need to prove that it's important that I teach a child to be able to dress themselves, right? So that's why we do research, right? We have to prove what we're doing is important. We have to have evidence to back that up.
Okay.
So then when you're in school, you learn about that. You learn about why it's important and the different types of research that's out there. There's tons of research out there. And then when you're in the actual program, you will do different types of research studies. You will learn how to do a literature review, which is being able to synthesize a whole bunch of research on one specific topic and find all the research out there and give a literature review, which is saying, here is the evidence to support this topic. So for me, constraint-induced movement therapy. There are over 200 articles written on constraint-induced movement therapy. There are some on pediatrics, there are some on adults, there are some on post-stroke, there are some on post-TBI, but it's different. So when I do a literature review, I'm going to look at, okay, here's all the research on TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury. Here's all the research on a stroke. Here's all the research on pediatrics. So you learn how to do that, which is important as a clinician. So let's say you hear of a new treatment method. I can go and research and find an article that supports that treatment method, or it may say this treatment method is not productive and you should not do it, and here's why. Right? So that's how you will use it as a clinician to be able to guide your practice.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Yeah, good question. So the minimum requirement is a 60% composite, but we do recommend a 70% or higher in each of the
So
sections.
each of the section has to be 60 or higher?
So composite is 60% minimum requirement, but 70% or higher is what we consider competitive.
But for each section, because I know like for each
Yeah.
section has to be like certain.
Right, so for the minimum requirement though, there is no minimum. As long as you have a 60% composite, we'll look at your application, but only recommend this section. But other than that, everything is done through nursing CAS. I don't know if anybody's heard of nursing CAS. There's nothing you have to do through apply Texas or anything like that. So makes it nice and easy. Is there any questions? I know that was like a lot. Just blurt out at you. Anybody have any questions at all?
Yeah, and I have a question.
Yeah.
So let's say I still have one class that I'll be taking in the summer.
Okay.
Am I still considered to like?
What class is it?
It's a developmental psychology.
No, so if you have all the other prerequisites done, you can apply without that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, in mind is we do our applications pretty far in advance, so you're looking at applying around 6 to 8 months before you can start.
6 to 8 months.
Yeah, so right now we're wrapping up our spring 2025 cycle, so that would be for January start of next year.
So we'll be on the fall.
So you would be looking at a summer 25 cycle. Yeah, because we do have fall, spring, and summer. So, anybody else familiar with our?
Is there any flexibility with classes?
No. So that's the one thing is since we only offer the courses at, one set time on a certain day. So yeah. Yes, ma'am.
How big are the classes?
Good question. So 135 is what we admit in the fall, 135 in spring, and 95 in the summer. And so that's usually your typical class size is either the 135 or 95. Now obviously, give or take, you might excuse me, lose a few students along the way, people who have dropped out, failed, but nobody's going to do that, right? So the class might get a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, but it's usually around,